Good morning, everyone. Let's see if Shell and I remember what to do. It's been a while since we've been here,
It's been a hot
so
minute.
it's just been a few minutes. So we're going to see if we've still got people that want to listen and, want to join us this morning. So if you are watching, please drop in the chat where you're listening from. And of course, if you have questions, we want to hear from you as well. So I'm just going to check the live. Why does it say starting soon? Because we are live. Is it showing up on
That
yours, Shell?
that's exactly what I'm pulling up now. And it
Okay.
is. We are. It's a little bit
We are.
delayed,
It's just a
but we're
little
here.
bit delayed. So, okay, perfect. So, yeah, if you are tuning in, please let us know where you're watching from, questions you have. This is a little bit of a hot topic, so to speak, but we're going to talk about trust. To give you kind of backstory, actually, let's back up a little bit. What have we been up to? We have been so deep in LinkedIn Rockstar Academy and working with folks one or two on one, helping them build their LinkedIn presence, really understanding how to manage their LinkedIn, not just your profile, but how do you manage it day to day? How do you actually build relationships? How do you actually build trust? And how do you grow your business so that you're bringing in clients and it's a tool for you? So we've been so deep in that. I have a little QR code where this corner.
It's
So
it's above it's above me.
it's above Shell. I'm like, it's above me on one side. It's all confusing. And that's called the Backstage Lounge. And we've been slowly over this summer growing a small community. We have other plans come the fall, but we are so excited. We've got a growing number of folks in there that are all committed to growing their online presence, their businesses, and we are just really happy to be able to work with individuals. Right now, the community will always be open. We are going to have a paid version in the coming months, and so we're excited to do that so that we can even help individuals grow even further. So that all being said, this topic got started on some crazy DMs that Shell and I were both getting.
I'm
things that
sure
we
you
were
guys have all gotten them too.
things that we were seeing people doing. And then people are wondering, why does this not work? Oh, you know what? I'm going to blame LinkedIn. It's not LinkedIn's fault, folks. It really isn't. So we're coming in hot. But if you have questions, please let us know. Drop them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. And we'd love, again, if you're watching, let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah.
And let's get started. Which one do you want to start with first, Shell? How do you want to?
I'm happy to just
I'm gonna
let's
pass it
dive
over.
in
Let's
wherever.
dive
Yeah.
in.
They're all like equally important, and so yeah, I'm just like we're gonna have to rip the band-aid off and talk about them all one way or another.
One way or the other. So a few weeks back, we'll start with this one, and this
Okay.
directly ties to your LinkedIn profile. I receive a message about somebody that wants to help me become a speaker. Okay, interesting. Have never talked to this person, and it wasn't anything massively like offensive or even overly pushy. But I check her headline that shows up in the DM, and she is in the clinical medical space. And immediately I'm like, that's weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, how are you going to help me become a speaker on stages? Like, I just don't understand. So I do a dive. She's highly skilled medical clinical professional, like massive like recognition, has certifications, the whole nine yards, and very respectable professional. But on the side, she works for this person that helps people become speakers. Immediately, of course, I send this to bless you.
Thank
Immediately
you.
send this to Shell, and I'm like, this is just this oddest thing in the world. And so
What
I
am I
actually
missing? What are we missing? Yeah.
what am I like? I don't understand. Where's the connection? Like, I don't, And so I did actually take it upon myself. Sometimes I don't do this, but in this case, I felt like I wanted to be very honest with her. And today, honestly, you may hear some like kind of brutal truths, but I literally said, I'm just going to be very honest with you. I would never say yes to your proposal. I would never say yes because simply your headline doesn't match what you're asking me. And therefore, I have no ability to believe that you can deliver what you're promising. And I said, you know, you could be completely offended by me offering this, but I just want to be of a resource to you. And I just want to say, this is exactly what I'm seeing. And this is exactly what other people are seeing. So if you are, in this space and you're selling something, bare minimum, folks, our headlines have to align with that. We have to, because don't assume people are going to your LinkedIn profile and taking time, because right there we have a disconnect. And you can't tell me that it's working, because there's just no way. There's just no way that works.
That's honestly one of the biggest things that I'm seeing, which segue for just a second. If you keep noticing me looking off to the side, it's because I'm checking the chat and trying to, engage with people. So I promise I'm here. I'm just also monitoring the chat at the same time. But to Melanie's point, like, this is something that like doesn't do anything to build trust from the very beginning. And I get it. A lot of people are very private. They don't want to put everything about themselves out on their profile. They don't want to post about everything, talk about everything, share everything. They share in little sprints what they think is the most important thing for people to know. But that disconnect is huge when somebody then messages, or like, and I have examples of this too. But we can stick with Melanie's. If what you're reaching out to somebody for is immediately discredited by everything else that you see on their profile, because make no mistake, if you message somebody and they've never spoken to you before, and yeah, that like the conversations have to start somewhere, but they're like, especially on LinkedIn, they're gonna go check out your profile. And what I'm noticing, what Melanie is noticing over and over and over again, is that so many people are, even if they're not leading with a pitch, they're talking about something that is not mentioned anywhere on their profile. There's nothing in their headline, there's nothing in their about section, there's nothing in their experience section. It doesn't have to be in all of these sections, but if we can't find it anywhere and it's not in your content and you're not talking about it anywhere, but you may be really great at doing the thing that you are trying to talk to us about, but it doesn't do you any good if people can't build that trust or that foundation of tying it back to what you're putting out there for. And so some of the examples that I've seen too is like somebody reaches out with a connection request and I see that they're in a field. I've checked out their profile. They don't necessarily add a message because you don't necessarily need to anymore, as long as you follow up in some way, shape, or form before or after the connection is made. That way it just doesn't go in like nowhere network land and like do nothing with it. But like if somebody reaches out and doesn't give you a reason or an immediate thing that you see about them when you go check them out as to like, okay, this is interesting about this person. Or it makes total sense why this person would reach out to me. They're over here. They see that that's my area of expertise, or that's something that I can maybe help them with. If somebody sends a connection message and I go check them out and I determine, because they didn't give me a reason specifically, I have to do a little bit more legwork, that, okay, like I could have an interesting conversation with this person, or I'd like to know a little bit more about what they're doing over here. I'm curious about how they got from here to here. And so I accept the connection message because there's trust there, right? Like something that I have sold myself on, a reason to start the conversation. And then the very first message is something that's completely related. And I know I took a leap of that trust by seeing something that I wanted to have the conversation about, but it immediately gets shattered the moment that you're pitching me on something else that I don't see anywhere. So what we're saying is, not that you can't be multifaceted. You absolutely can. We both are. but that if you're going to talk to somebody about something, it should be represented somewhere in some way, shape, or form on your presence or in your posts or in your comments that we can refer back to and build that connection and that trust. And again, maybe it's something you've only been doing a hot minute and you're just getting started with it. Maybe it's something you did 20 years ago and you're just coming back to it. Maybe it's something that really does live behind the scenes and you don't really want to promote it. It's just something you want to have occasional conversations about. I should still be able to connect the dots somewhere so that you're not immediately losing me when I can't spot it in anything that you've done. Or start the conversation on that honest note and say, like, this is the reason I'm reaching out. Here's what I saw about you. Or you may notice that there's a little bit of a disconnect. Like, literally be honest about that. I don't have this on my profile. Here's why. And again, do it your way. Do it in a way that feels good. But like, take a moment to really think about the person that's receiving that message. Are they likely to go check you out? Yeah, they are. And if your profile or your content or your comments, anything that they can visibly see outwardly about you doesn't reflect what you're trying to talk to them about, you're going to lose them. It's going to be harder to rebuild.
I want to add something. This goes beyond the pitch slap. You know, we hear about the pitch slap and the first message was bang and like, you know, which I always, no offense to book publishers, but I swear there's some coach out there that said, hey, just message. Have you ever thought about writing a book? You'd make a great author. And it's funny when it happens to Shell because Shell has actually written a book and it's in her, you know, so it's like, okay, do your research. It's not original anymore. You're not standing out from the crowd. So I probably just offended every book publisher there is, but please stop that. Like just on behalf of everybody, please stop that. There has to be a more creative way. At least engage with my content. Tell me like why my content would make a good book. Convince me. I'm not something I necessarily want to do, to be very honest with you. I also have connections, but regardless, if you could convince me of that, I might actually have a conversation with you. But so far, nobody stepped up to the plate. But this is not even about the pitch slap. We're not even concerned about the pitch slap, to be very honest with you.
Yeah, this is all before that.
This is all before that, because this literally is like why people are not succeeding on LinkedIn. Whether you're a job seeker, whether you're looking to make a pivot and change careers. And to Shell's point, we just had a conversation with a client about the fact that we are people in 2026. We do not have to sit in one bucket. We can be multifaceted. So we should expect that from it. It is still hard with LinkedIn. I'm not going to lie, but it is possible. It is doable. There are so many ways for this. And literally, I've been so excited to have this conversation because, to me, this is a core issue of how people do not buy because of a product. At the end of the day, that the product is what obviously we deliver. The service is what we deliver. People are purchasing from you. And if literally you walk away from anything, people are building a relationship with you. And every single relationship is built on one single thing, and that's the foundation of trust. Can I trust you to deliver? Can I trust who you say you are? And when there's nothing in your LinkedIn profile, like going back to the example of the woman that reached out to me, seriously, medical certified board professional. I'm sure she's, you know, and then she tells me, oh, I'm just doing this like thing on the side. That's great. But did you use her? Were you a client of hers? Maybe that's why you got started. Lead with that. Tell me like, hey, I'm reaching out to my connections because I really, you know, I believe in what this woman is doing. And I think you might be interested in this. I would at least understand that perspective, but you're a certified clinical medical doctor telling me that you're going to help me bring me to the stage because you sent me a canned message. No, you're probably not. Sorry. And I didn't want to offend her because I literally wanted to help her and understand her message is not landing. And we have we've got more examples for you folks. So One topic I want to touch on about trust, and we're seeing this a lot on LinkedIn, is everyone's complaining about AI. So let's talk a little bit about that. AI this, all the AI crud, AI that, AI whatever, AI images, this, that, and the other. Thoughts, Shell, on where's the line of too much AI versus the real person?
I mean, so let me preface this by saying I use AI every single day. Gemini is like my personal assistant, right? But and I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assign Gemini a gender, and say that she is a very good assistant, but she doesn't replace me. She doesn't do the thinking for me. She doesn't pull from anywhere and everywhere on the interwebs. She is my assistant. She makes my life easier. And
She
so the
also makes
line, yeah,
mistakes.
she also makes mistakes, and yours may not be Gemini, and yours may not be female.
But it makes mistakes.
She Gemini is my preferred tool, and she is reflective of me because I've built her that way. So that's the preface. But like, no matter whether I use AI or not, and whether I use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or any of the other services that are out there, and they're going to keep coming up. I draw the line at when you stop looking and sounding and feeling like yourself. And I don't mean like how you necessarily feel, because you might write something using AI or generate something using AI and it looks and it sounds great. But if it loses the you-ness in that in any way, shape, or form, that's where I draw the line. And that's what we're seeing a lot of. And I think that's where a lot of people's frustration comes from. Not because AI can't be helpful as a tool or a resource, because we've proven time and time again, everybody in this audience probably has also seen it, how it can help them and simplify their life and their work and their processes. But like, we see so often where the generated images no longer look like that person, or they're using other images that like have nothing to do with what they're doing, or the text and the copy doesn't sound like the person. And again, that creates another disconnect, another rift of like you building trust with your audience and with somebody on the other side of that. And so, yeah, I use AI all the time, Gemini specifically for me. And she does great work. I catch a lot of mistakes. I talk to her like she's my clone. And sometimes I'm sassy. And sometimes she yells back at me and puts me in my place. But like, at the end of the day, I don't put anything out that I wouldn't, like, if I read it out loud or read it in the mirror, like, it's got to sound like me. Yeah, sometimes I do use M dashes. I was doing that even before AI. More often than not, you'll see me with the ... because that's you, right? Like, you can see the wheels turning as I'm speaking and I go off on tangents. So the ... is reflective of the way that I speak and I write. So I go back through any piece of content that AI has helped me with, and I make sure that it looks, sounds, feels like me. And I think that's where a lot of people are just like, they use it as a tool to get the content out, to post the thing, to comment, to get to that next step. But they don't take that extra time to go back and like make sure those little nuances and details are there, that they're not lost in the AI of it all. Mel, what are your thoughts on it?
So I'm a Claude user. Went from ChatGPT to Claude. Love my Claude. Do not use images with Claude. Why? Because the images are all the same that Claude produces. And we can spot a Claude image in a heartbeat. Like, both of us are attuned to that. And that does not set you apart.
I'm like, ugh, the font, the colors, the text is too tiny. I can't read it. Like, they all look the same.
So we do not, and I say we, I usually do a lot, the like graphics that you see for like images and stuff like that. I usually do that. Like, we split our responsibilities in the Rockstar Academy. So and so I actually use Gemini. I use Nano Banana. I love that. But I've customized it to the point it literally knows our brand colors. It knows the color code. It uses, and I'm just going to say to Linda Brubaker, yes, M dashes, because one, I was a PR major in college. I also took a lot of English classes. M dashes have been in existence for the entire literary world. Okay. So I do now. I'm conscious of it, but I still do use M dashes. But and yes, I properly use them because that's just the world that I came from. But but yeah, like, so I'm very mindful of like the images that we create, and some of them are AI generated. You'll see that. But usually it's because I'm intently on purpose, just because I want to have a little bit of fun with it.
What? Work with purpose? Okay.
Work with purpose. Hello. So like I'm very conscious of it. And again, to Shell's point, to back up, we're in a time of a trust recession right now. People are so lacking in trust of one another because there's so much AI generated information. Now people are kind of repelling and saying, is this person real? How authentic is this person? Is this person only? And this is something that happens in the career coaching space. Does AI have a place? Absolutely, 100%. It has a place. We should know and understand, where does it have a place in our workflow, and how can it help us? How can it make us better? We should be the curators of that, but we should not be just generating this information over and over to the point that we go, well, we don't know what the real thing is. Like, because this goes back again to, yes, I'm selling a product or a service or whatever the case may be, but they're purchasing it from you. That's who they're purchasing it from, because there's another person selling the exact same thing you are. None of us are original here, folks. If you're a job seeker, none of us are original. I'm going to be brutally honest. There's a project manager, dime a dozen project manager, like whatever the title. So how are you standing out? How can you help that person be better at what they do and get to their goals quicker? That's what we have to start focusing on. And that's what our content, and we don't talk a lot. We're starting to talk a lot more privately with our clients in terms of the content piece and how to actually curate content that really helps us. We're very fortunate. We've been able to have access to a tool called Content on Easy Mode. We've got
out to Danny.
And shout out to Danny DeVecchio. I probably just butchered that, but we've also got a link if you're interested in that really helps us. But again, we're taking that content and we're making it our own. You know what? That doesn't sound like me. I read so much content that I'm literally like, oh, wow, you sound like a robot. I have no interest in working with you. Like, just crazy things like that. But, we've got about, we're going to keep this to 30 minutes. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat. If you're seeing any trends, things of that nature, we'd love to hear from you. Also, check out the QR code if you're watching. If you're interested in the Backstage Lounge, that is attached to our LinkedIn Rockstar Academy is what we call it. We've got some exciting things coming up in the fall that we're going to be doing. We do offer bi-weekly coaching that is open to our community. And so if you're interested in moving and achieving your goals and you're really committed to like showing up and doing it, we invite you to join us. And so we'd love to have you join us there. Shell, what's another experience you had? Because you've had a couple that we just recently talked about. I'm like, can we remember them? That is the trick.
Yeah. So I'll be very. So it's been about a week and a half since I've like really been in my DMs and looking at other people's profiles and stuff, which. Maybe you guys missed me. Maybe you didn't even notice. Either way, I'm back. But one of the recent ones that came up was similar to yours, where somebody reached out and they immediately were asking to partner or collaborate with me. And that's not what drew me to accepting their connection request in the first place. What drew me to accept their connection request was, and again, there was no connection note, which again, you don't always need to sell yourself on a reason for somebody else to speak with you. But I was sold on a reason when I checked out their profile, because I saw that they were in a wellness space. They were a coach. They help other people improve their lives. There were a few different things that tied together that I was like, okay, I can vibe with this. It's right up my alley. We've worked with a lot of coaches in this capacity who do this, and I could see then step by step as I was going through, okay, like we could build this part of the profile up. This part is looking a little bit outdated. I see that there's none of this, and this. And so I was sold on a bunch of different reasons, qualifiers, if you will, to accept the connection request and continue or start the conversation. But upon connecting with them, the first thing that they tried to do was partner or collaborate with me. Again, and that in itself is not the issue. The issue came right immediately after when they started telling me about, they started talking as a we look for this. We partner with people who do this. We. I'm not even going to go back and read the conversation. And as soon as I saw the we, I was like, what is it? The royal we? What, who's we in this instance? Because the profile is all about I, me, here's how I help you. And I was like, it seems like she's on her own, not working with a team. Like who is the we? Is this another part of the entrepreneurship journey or the company that she's been building? Where is this coming from? And so I asked, and she said, oh no, this is a separate thing. It's different than what I have on my profile. Boom. So there was confusion, immediate confusion, and then the disconnect. And then I still was curious because me, and I was like, why don't you have that on your profile? Where's this company? How come you're not talking about this? And I may not have asked all those questions, but that's what's going through my head, right? You can see the dots as my brain is working here. And I'm like, okay, well, this is nowhere on her profile. She doesn't talk about this. The website isn't here. What's the company? So I started asking more questions, and it was still we do this. Let's hop on a call. And I was like, I don't have enough information to hop on a call. I don't know you. I don't trust you. I can't see anything about you. So immediately maybe I don't receive information or absorb conversations or lead with curiosity the way other people do. And so if your experiences is same, but different, that's, adjust accordingly. What I'm saying is in my experience with that conversation, there was no trust established because I had this trust based on what I was seeing, and then the immediate break of that trust or disconnect, which now we're in a deficit of like, I don't know how to gain back that trust because now you're talking about something over and over again and inviting me to a call when there's no set foundation for it. So that just kind of echoes what Melanie was sharing, because different person, different career, different thing that they were trying to talk to us about, but there was that disconnect of like, I don't understand what you do. I don't see this anywhere. Like, help me understand. And even in asking the questions to want to understand, they didn't do anything to bridge that gap for me. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I so do. Like, I still want to have the conversation, but I'm like, how do I have a conversation about something when they're singularly focused on this other thing that I don't know anything about? And another, yeah.
I was just going to add something here because this is a good point too. Whether it's collaboration, but investing in a service. Okay. So a lot of people we offer some sort of service to coaches or others. Thank you, Linda, for joining. We so appreciate you and always supporting us. So, but one of the things that I want to add to this is when you're asking somebody to make an investment, okay, and an investment is whether you're coaching with Shell and I for your LinkedIn, for your business, or even your career, whether you invest in the career coaching services, we recognize that's a significant investment in today's world that we live in. They are, if they are going to consider you, they are likely to do what Shell did and go to your profile. because what are they looking for? They're looking for something to validate you. They're looking for some authenticity in this regard, because you're asking them to spend an exorbitant, in their minds, maybe an exorbitant amount of money, maybe it's not. But you're asking them to invest. And when you ask them to invest and they go to your profile and they do not see that area of expertise reiterated by recommendations or even services or proof of concept, something, there you've already lost that person. And I'm not going to invest in something that I don't fully, like, you're not fully walking me through. If I go to your content and your content is it doesn't feel authentic, then I'm going to not want to further that conversation. And most people are not going to tell it. Truthfully, they're not going to say 2 words to you. They're like,
They're
I
just
don't
not
want
going to
to.
respond.
They're just not going to respond. And then we sometimes, oh, LinkedIn sucks. No, LinkedIn, that has nothing to do. LinkedIn's the platform. I mean, not that, it doesn't have its problems, but this isn't a LinkedIn problem. This is a you problem. And I say you to whoever this may apply. But you've been approached to do, like, you had the one guy that wanted to, was going to give you something for a full year to, like, use his services. But again,
Yeah.
and I think that was for free.
Yeah. In that case, yeah. Again, same but different, because we've all been pitch slapped. We've all been pitch slapped right out the gate. We've all been pitch slapped, or even just like conversation slapped. Because sometimes people aren't even selling anything. It's just not clear. In that particular case, this gentleman had reached out, and was offering me access to a platform that had just been built. They wanted feedback on it. Okay, well, what is my time investment here? Like, what are you asking of me? What kind of feedback do you want? Do you want me to, like, test it and give you honest and open feedback, or are you looking to validate something very, very specific in that case? And so I pushed back. I asked questions. I said, look, I've already got something that works to do this thing that you're asking me to test. I don't really need a year full of access. That's not beneficial to me. But tell me a little bit more about what you're trying to achieve by having me go in and give you feedback, because I'm not going to promote something that I'm not using or haven't tried and vetted myself. And
Sure.
and if I already have something that works for me, I may not be open to switching, but I'm open to hearing you out. And if I can help you or be a resource in any way, absolutely, tell me a little bit more. And again, I'm paraphrasing this how this conversation went down. And they gave me a little bit more feedback, and the conversation went back and forth. I pushed back. I asked more questions. They invited me to a conversation, and again, the door is still open. I'm not done with that conversation yet. I just, like I said, I've been away for a week and a half. My mind hasn't been there. I do plan on going back. So if that person is watching, I didn't dead the conversation. I just haven't been available. But the next thing that I followed up with in that specific conversation, I asked them, there was a disconnect of, I didn't see it on their profile. They didn't talk about the thing that they were inviting me to. It wasn't mentioned anywhere. The company wasn't on there. None of their expertise, which was very extensive, by the way. So this is not a new thing. People have extensive research, have done extensive research on their thing. They have extensive experience and credibility. But one, we're not seeing the social proof, and I don't see the validation. I don't see anything that reinforces that, hey, I'm over here doing this thing and I want to talk to you about it. And so I asked the person point blank, have you vetted this app? Have you used it for yourself? Are you using it for yourself? And again, I haven't deaded the conversation. I do still believe that there's something here, but they told me no. They're not using their own product.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Why aren't you using your own product? Or why is that, like, talk the talk, walk the talk,
Everything that
do
we
the thing that you say you're going to do. Like, I can't stress enough. Like, I want to see it. And we tell clients all day, where's the social proof? I will cheerlead for you till the cows come home, right? I don't have my pom-poms on me today. And I will always encourage you. And between the two of us, I am not the tough love. That's Melanie. Like, she's the tough love. I'm the encourager, right? Like, I just want to cheer you on and support you and make sure you have what you need, right? It's more than that. But like, this is what I do for people. And even with the social proof, I'm like, come on, guys, like, help me help you help yourself. Like, help me help you help yourself to help others. If there's no social proof, if there's no validation, if you're not showing your processes and your personality are what make you you. That is the reason, or reasons, plural, that set you apart from the way that anybody else, everyone else who is doing the same thing or similar is doing it. Because nobody is you. Nobody sounds like you. Nobody can talk like you, walk like you, solve the problems the way that you solve them. Yeah, I'm sure they could solve the problems. They could even use AI to help solve the problems, but it's not going to be the same way that you do it. And if you're missing all of that social proof, the testimonials, the recommendations, we could go on in all the different ways that we help clients show this throughout their profile and in their content and the way that they show up and speak. If it's missing, or if it's just not there, or you're just not comfortable putting it out there, or you're not using your own product, like, tell me why. And it's okay if your own product is not for you, if you're not your own target market. But I want to know that you've at least worked out the kinks or have other people doing it. Like, I can't just do the work for you. You know what I mean? So that's another experience of, like, there was a major disconnect because I wasn't seeing a way to build the trust with this person. Again, conversation is not dead. I will resurface. I don't intentionally ghost people, but like, you have to give me, Melanie talked about the investment of, like, money wise, and that is certainly important. But it's also a time and energy investment. If I'm going to spend time and energy having a conversation with somebody, it's not just to like go back and forth for no reason.
My question,
so why are we talking?
Was a year. That was like, I was like, literally, because I'm definitely the tough love in this relationship here, folks. So just FYI, if you hire us, just know that. And my love does come from a good place. It's just literally like, I may have to shake you though. And we do decide when you need tough love and when, when you need encouragement. We communicate that back and forth to one another all the time when we're working with folks. So, but my whole thing from a business standpoint, that is the craziest concept ever. I'm going to give you something for a year. Stop. Because if it is so freaking good, why would you give that away? Because right then, that to me tells me, like, oh, we don't have something, or at least preface, like, we're still in that, we're still in development phase. We're still in this phase, like things like that. Then, okay, I understand, like, why we need that. What are you looking at from me to get? That would be my next question. Like, if I were to use your tool. And yes, Simpson and Meryl is correct. Everyone does get tough love except for Mr. Simpson, because he is just living his best Floridian life. You can check him out on Instagram. I mean, he's still on my profile, but yeah, he's inside right now in his little cat lounger. But the CEO is running a tight ship around here. I'm not going to lie. And so,
just in case there was any doubt, she's not the CEO.
And just, yeah, the CEO is not me. That is the cat, living his 6-figure lifestyle in Florida. So yeah, he gets everything, but he pretty much just gets everything. So, as my own children say, but that, they're on their own. They don't need me. So, but yeah, so just really be able to, but it comes from a place of love, Brad. It comes from a place of love, because sometimes the thing is, nobody else is going to tell people this stuff. Like, that's just the truth, is people are not going to take the time. They're going to say, I don't know why you're bothering me. Like another spam, another message, another this. We have to start figuring out, when I'm coaching career on the career side, but the same goes, truthfully, it goes for entrepreneurs and coaches. What is setting ourselves apart? In a market that's flooded with what feels like a sea of sameness, how do you set yourself apart? One of the things that we do in LinkedIn coaching is the fact is you get two coaches. You're not getting just one coach. You're getting two coaches, by the way, who have actually vetted their entire process, who actually implement their entire process, who have proven that you can go from A to Z and be successful and build a business. Now, there's a process in this, but you have to be able to, and you have to be willing to go through that process and follow up and do the work. That's the other thing. That's for another conversation, but we were going to keep it to 30 minutes. We did not do that because
we're close. We're close.
I will say we recently did a webinar for business communicators in DC, the International Association of Business Communicators. We did end on time. That was a first for us.
It felt weird.
It felt really weird. We still may have had to cut some things out of the presentation, but we did end on time. But I think that was more of the moderator than Mel and Shell, because we could have gone for longer. So on that note, what I do, if you're still watching, check out the Backstage Lounge. We do have community coaching every other week, Thursdays at 4 p.m. We're going to get through the month of August. Shell's got more travel plans coming up. She's my traveler. I made the move, so my whole focus is just getting situated, and that was my big travel this year. But so we'd love for you to join us if you're not already a part of that community. See what we're doing back there, and I think maybe in the fall we may do these a little bit more frequently. We're going to have some workshops coming up, things of that nature, so stay tuned. And any last thoughts, Shell, that you want to share?
Yeah, thank you to everyone who has popped in, who has stayed the entire time or come and gone. We do appreciate you stopping in. And because you have not heard me say it in probably months, because it's been a while since we've done a live, please take a moment to look up, look down, look left, look right. This worked a lot better when we were in an audio space. See who else has joined you in this space today, whether they're commenting in the chat or on the networking tab on the event page. Go back and see if there's anybody else worth connecting with or having a deeper conversation. You all had the intention to join us for today. And so because you all were interested in being in this space with us, there's probably other people that are around that want to have the conversation too. Because why would you join a live if you didn't care about that topic or want to know more, or at least want to support the people who are doing it? So we really do thank you for being here with us. Connect with people if and when it makes sense. Again, be intentional with it. Work with purpose. I did have my LinkedIn shirt on today. And if you need more support for your LinkedIn presence, helping to put yourself out there, build confidence, you need a little tough love or encouragement or cheerleading to help you keep going and building your business, we are here for you. Please make sure to reach out and connect with us. The replay, by the way, for this particular live does live on LinkedIn, since this is where we're streaming. It will also be on YouTube, so you can go check it out there. And just because we can, I will also probably pop it into the classroom section of our school community. So you'll have multiple ways to access this particular replay. When we do host them in school, they live only on school. So you have to be in school to join us there. And you can check out the calendar tab at any time to see when the next live or session is coming up. So we hope to see more of you, and we're looking forward to doing more live streams. So